Alright guys, brew day time. Today we're going to do a little trial batch, a little 12 litre batch for my very first kettle sour, and it's not actually a kettle sour. I'm not even using bacteria. In fact, I'm using the new Lallemand Wild Brew Philly Sour yeast. So let's get into it. The recipe. I wanted to do a small batch because I wasn't sure how it was going to go, and I've got a little 9 litre keg up there, and I thought it would be perfect just to have a little sample of the Philly Sour Berliner Weisse modern version. We'll see what it is anyway. After watching the webinar of best practices for the Philly Sour yeast, with my 12 litre batch, I realised I only need about 6 grams. So I'm going to be pretty much pitching twice as much as I need. The effect of that is you have a less aggressive souring effect if you're over pitching. So to combat that, I've added just a little bit, about 2% of dextrose, because Lallemand found that when you add simple sugars into the wort, then you increase the amount of lactic acid being produced and lower the final pH. So my recipe, I think, is like 49% Pilsner, 49% wheat, 2% dextrose. So we'll see how that comes out. Also worth noting, with the simple sugars, they found that without the simple sugars, the yeast produced an ester profile of red apple, but with the glucose added, it produced esters of stone fruit and peach, which I think sounds a bit nicer. So that's the grain bill. Hops, I've just used a little bit of Motueka, 6 grams, but they're about 2 years old, so the alpha acid's dropped down. I think my alpha acid value is about 4.9, down from 7.2. So I've gone for about 6 IBUs, a bitterness which is pretty much within the style guide for Berliner Weisse. And yeah, so just the dextrose at 10 minutes to go, hops at 60 minutes, and yeah, that should be about it. Just chill it down into the fermenter and pitch the yeast. Ferment at 24 degrees. Keen-eyed among you will realise I've actually got some new hosing. So I've increased the length of this one, 8mm in a 12mm outer if you're looking for the part, silicon. So I've made that 1 metre, and then the one coming out is 2 metres. It allows me to just get it nice and easy into the fermenter. That is so much easier with the lengthened hoses. Perfect. G'day guys, here it is, the Philly Sour Berliner Weisse test brew. So you can see it's pretty clear. I've only got one hand here, but you can see the clarity is certainly not lacking here. That yeast drops really bright. So really impressed, and as you can see, holds a pretty good head too. So let's go for a smell and a taste. So off the bat, there is like a stone fruit peach / apricot vibe. They say melon, maybe. I'm more getting peach and apricot, and the tartness sort of comes in the back, on the back end of the smell. That slight lactic sourness. Yeah, let's go for a taste. Cheers. Moderate sourness. It's not too sour. My pH meter says 3. It tends to fly in the face of what the guys from the Lallemand video, I'll link it up here, they said it tend to go from 3.2 to 3.5. So I reckon I need to recalibrate refresh my calibration solutions. Pardon me. But it's definitely tart. I wouldn't call it a super sour beer. Very drinkable though. Just getting like a honeydew melon in the end. I get a bit of a zesty lemon citrus. I'm guessing that's from the Motueka, although it was a 60-minute. I think the bitterness is actually pretty good for a first go with this recipe. Pretty happy. The only thing that's a pain in the butt is I've only made 9 litres of it. I wish there was more. But anyway, bit of an experiment with a brand new yeast. No idea what the ABV of this beer is. It does, I may have said this before, it's a biphasic fermentation. So first of all, it uses the simple sugars, creates lactic acid, and then I don't think they fully understand why or when it does this, but they think that once the simple sugars have been metabolized into and creating lactic acid, it switches over to the maltose and maltotriose to create ethanol. So calculations, difference in gravity, this should be 3.5, but that doesn't account for the lactic acid production, so it's probably going to be 2.5% or thereabouts. Less than 3.5 anyway. So anyway, if you feel like giving this yeast a go, give it a crack and let me know what you think. I think it's pretty good. My first kettle sour, and I didn't even use bacteria. There you go. What a crazy time we live in. I guess that's all I've got to say. So until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video. This is Stass from Stass Brewing, signing out. Cheers.